They watched your silence and mistook it for weakness. They saw you standing alone and assumed you had no power. But what they didn't know is, while they were mocking, you were morphing. While they were plotting, you were preparing. And now the energy has flipped, and it's eating them alive. The very games they used to trap you are backfiring one by one. Their fake smiles, their whispers behind closed doors, their staged betrayals. Each one is now a mirror reflecting their own chaos. Because chosen ones don't just survive attacks, we turn them into elevation. Every attempt they made to dim your light only made it brighter. Every lie they whispered formed the ladder you used to rise. And what's haunting them now isn't what you said, it's what you didn't say. It's the silence that exposed their cowardice. It's the glow that burned through every false layer they tried to hide behind. They tried to make you feel small, digestible, forgettable. But chosen one, your presence alone is proof that power can't be imitated. You're not haunting them with revenge. You're haunting them with the reality that you were always the one. You became everything they said you'd never be, and now they can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. They can't undo the fear you awaken in their fake confidence. That's the power of being chosen. You walk in rooms and rewrite the rules without even speaking. And if you know this message is speaking to your soul right now, pause and show love. Like the video, subscribe to this channel, because every time a chosen one connects, the energy multiplies and the world shifts a little more in our favor. Let them keep watching. Let them keep wondering, because you were never meant to ask for space. You were meant to own it. Before moving ahead, let me pause and thank every one of you who supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your offering is not just generosity, it's a reflection of divine alignment, a signal that your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. You're not just contributing to content, you're fueling a movement that was born to shake foundations and awaken the ones chosen for more. And if your heart feels that stir, if your spirit knows this message carries the weight of your calling, take a quiet moment now to affirm it. Comment 999 below, not out of pressure, but as a personal vow that you're walking in purpose, rising in power, and nothing formed against your light will ever prevail. Number 1. Stop begging to be let in. Break the door like you were born to lead. Chosen one, let me ask you something raw. Have you ever felt the pressure in your spirit rise right before everything changes? Not panic, not fear, but that electric tension in the air, like the unseen is about to make itself known. That moment where silence doesn't feel empty, it feels loaded, as if the world itself is holding its breath because something within you is getting ready to break loose. That's not paranoia, that's not overthinking, that's alignment, that's the shift announcing itself. You walk into rooms and everything looks normal, but something deep inside you knows better. You feel the energy before words are even spoken. You sense the fake before the masks come off. You feel watched, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your very presence exposes what others are trying to hide. You were never wired to blend in. You were built to disturb every illusion, every lie, every comfort zone built on falsehood. That dis-ease you feel around certain people, that's your truth refusing to digest the performance. The force inside you doesn't come from surface-level confidence or ego. It comes from survival, from fire, from nights you cried and nobody saw, from betrayals you turned into fuel, from being counted out so many times your soul stopped waiting for validation. You became your own confirmation. You don't need to be accepted into their world. You were marked to rebuild your own. They underestimated you because you didn't show off. You didn't scream for attention. You didn't perform. But storms don't audition. Earthquakes don't ask for a stage. And now, here you are, rising without announcement, shaking their illusions with every step forward. That eerie shift in their behavior, that tension in the air when you enter. That's not coincidence. That's your energy exposing their intentions. This is why people ghosted, why things fell apart, why everything you once tried to hold together suddenly couldn't stand anymore. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. You were being cleared of distractions, freed from attachments that couldn't survive your next level. The universe made sure the noise left so the signal could come through. And now that signal is clear. You are not just stepping into power. You are the power. You are the timeline shift. The one that doesn't just change their surroundings, you change everything. So if you've been feeling the pressure lately, if things have been falling apart faster than you can make sense of, pause, breathe, because it's not destruction, it's alignment. It's evidence that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are the storm, you are the quake, and the reason the ground is shaking under their feet is because you just stopped shrinking. Number 2. Quit playing small. Your next step will collapse the whole illusion. Chosen one, you were never meant to tiptoe around truth just to keep fragile egos comfortable. Every time you water yourself down to survive the room, you deny the power that was placed in you to shift the entire room. You were not built for obedience to systems that fear authenticity. You were built to undo them. You've been walking like a whisper in places where you were supposed to roar, and now that silence is costing you your own breakthrough. The illusion survives only when you pretend not to see it, but the moment you speak up, the cracks begin to show. The moment you take one bold step toward your purpose, entire structures built on lies begin to shake. And that's what's got them nervous. It's not your volume. It's your vision. It's your clarity. It's the way you walk in alignment, even after being torn apart. They don't fear your rebellion. They fear your knowing. You carry the kind of energy that ends cycles, the kind of presence that makes deception retreat. And now, every step you take in truth exposes what they spent years trying to hide. You're not the threat because you're reckless. You're the threat because you're awake. So stop second-guessing the power in your next move. You're not just walking forward, you're bringing their illusion to its knees. You're not just evolving, you're collapsing everything fake that tried to contain you. Let them panic, let them pretend, let them scramble to keep up. Because the second you stop playing small, the whole game changes, and you were never here to play, you were here to end it. Number 3. Stop tolerating the lies. Your fire was built to burn the mask off everything. Chosen one, you were never meant to sit quietly in a room full of lies, pretending everything feels right. You weren't designed to nod in agreement while truth gets buried under performance. That discomfort you feel when people talk in circles, when the energy feels twisted even though the words sound polite. That's not anxiety. That's your fire rejecting the illusion. You're not just a truth teller, you are the truth in motion. And the reason they tense up when you speak isn't because you're wrong, it's because you see too much. You hear the shifts in tone, you feel the weight of silence, you read the energy that their words try to hide. They call you intense, too much, too deep. But that's only because your fire burns through the mask they hoped would never melt. This world has taught people to wear disguises so long they've forgotten their real faces. But you never had the luxury of hiding. Your pain stripped you down to something real. Your losses taught you to stop pretending. You became the mirror they fear most, not because you judge, but because you reflect what they're afraid to face. So stop tolerating the fakeness. Stop shrinking your vision to fit their comfort. Stop staying quiet just to avoid the backlash. Your voice isn't loud, it's liberating. And when you speak, systems shiver. When you move, facades fracture. That's why they resist you. That's why they push back. because your fire makes lies unbearable. You weren't sent here to make people comfortable. You were sent here to wake them up. Burn on, chosen one. Burn through every mask. Your truth is the wildfire this world can't contain. Number 4. Refuse to be controlled. Your freedom is the collapse they can't survive. They don't want you free, not because you're dangerous with weapons or chaos, but because you're dangerous with clarity, with silence, with the kind of self-possession they can't manipulate. The moment you stopped needing their validation, their games started crumbling. The moment you no longer begged to be seen, their power started slipping. You weren't just stepping away. You were unraveling the illusion they called control. Chosen one, understand this. You were never rebellious. You were just awake in a system that demanded sleep. They called you difficult when you asked real questions, emotional when you didn't agree to their terms, cold when you stopped accepting crumbs. That wasn't weakness. That was you taking your crown back. And every time you walked away without giving an explanation, another piece of their false authority cracked beneath your feet. They tried to shame your truth, tried to twist your boundaries into insults. But the reality is, they feared what you'd become without their leash around your voice. And now that you're rising untouched, unfazed, unbothered, they're breaking under their own weight, because your freedom was never just about escape. It was the exposure. It revealed how little power they ever had. You are not meant to be caged. Not by guilt, not by memory, not by people who only knew how to chain what they didn't understand. So walk boldly now. With every step forward, you are proving that real power doesn't dominate, it liberates. And when you break free, you don't just escape the system, you end it. Let them watch. Let them tremble, because the moment you refuse to be controlled, their collapse began, and it won't stop until you're out of reach for good. Number 5. Don't look back. You're rising to a level their hands can't reach. Chosen one, let this be the moment you stop glancing over your shoulder. You are rising, fast, fierce, and untouchable. The version of you they mocked is long gone. The energy you carry now, it's beyond anything they ever prepared for. You're not just ahead, you're out of reach. And no matter how hard they try to circle back, to mimic, to reattach themselves to your path, they can't. Because elevation doesn't offer round-trip tickets. They threw dirt on your name when you were still planting roots. They doubted you in silence, hoping your spirit would crack under pressure. But now you're sprouting in directions they can't follow. You've outgrown their grip. You've detached from their illusions. The level you're moving into isn't about proving them wrong. It's about becoming the version of yourself they never believed could exist, because their vision was never big enough to hold yours. They're watching now, quiet, nervous, pretending not to notice the shift, but feeling every ounce of it. They want to reach out, but shame ties their hands. They want to explain, but truth has already answered for them. You owe them nothing, not your attention, not your softness, not your pause. Look ahead. What's waiting for you is sacred. It's not built on betrayal. It's not painted with manipulation. It's freedom. It's alignment. It's the kind of peace that's earned through pain. And you, chosen one, have earned every step of this rise. Let them feel the distance. Let them watch you ascend. Because the climb you're on now, it's not just elevation, it's separation. You're rising to a level where hands that once tried to hold you down can't even touch you. Number 6. Break the cycle before it breaks you. You were never meant for that cage. Chosen one, let's be real. This wasn't just a phase, and it wasn't just life happening. This was a cycle, a trap, a pattern meant to keep you repeating pain while calling it love, meant to keep you quiet while pretending it was peace. It's time you see it for what it is, a cage. And no matter how they dressed it up with fake smiles, guilt trips, or false promises, it was never built for your expansion. It was built to contain you, that heaviness on your chest, that drained feeling after certain conversations. That's your soul screaming for escape. Because every time you tried to shrink to fit, something sacred in you resisted. Every time you stayed longer than you should have, the light in you dimmed a little. And still, you held on, hoping they'd change, hoping things would get better, hoping you could love the cage into becoming a home. But you were never meant to decorate your prison. You were meant to break it. Chosen ones don't thrive in captivity. Your energy is too raw, your spirit too unfiltered. That's why they tried to tame you with control, with silence, with shame. But they failed to realize, when a chosen one reaches their breaking point, they don't shatter, they snap the chains. So now it's your time. Break the pattern. Walk away without explanation. Shatter the cage they convinced you was protection. Because the cycle isn't just unhealthy, it's a spiritual attack on your purpose. And you, chosen one, were born to soar, not survive, but rise. Number 7. Stop hiding your light. The world's been waiting to be exposed by it. Chosen one, you weren't born to be digestible. You weren't designed to dim. The world doesn't need another imitation. It needs your raw, radiant truth. That light inside of you, it's not some soft glow meant to decorate dark rooms. It's a wildfire meant to expose what's been hiding, to burn through the masks, and to bring heat where people only offered cold intentions. So why are you still shrinking? You've spent enough time softening your voice so others wouldn't feel convicted, enough time second-guessing your intuition just to protect someone else's comfort. But your presence alone unsettles people. Not because you're wrong, but because you're real. That discomfort they feel around you. That's truth waking up in their bones. That's light exposing what the shadows were protecting. You don't need to apologize for it. You need to unleash it. You were never too intense. You were too accurate. And accuracy terrifies people who've built their lives on pretending. But pretending is cracking, and your name is on the shift. So let them flinch, let them twist, let them scatter, because the era of playing small is over. Let this hit you deep. The very light you're hiding is the fire someone else needs to find their way out. So don't dim, don't delay, don't dilute. The world's been waiting for someone who doesn't just shine, but burns through the lies. Number 8. Drop the fog. They wrapped you in. Walk like the clarity they feared. They didn't just try to blind you. They wrapped you in fog on purpose. Whispered doubts disguised as advice. Fed you lies in a tone sweet enough to make you second-guess your own fire. They built confusion around your vision so you'd question what was already inside you. They called you too intense when really your truth made them flinch. They said you changed when you finally stopped shrinking. But chosen one, that fog, it was never yours to carry. It was their protection against the clarity they knew you'd eventually walk in. And now, that clarity is here. And it's not gentle. It slices. It exposes. It silences the noise they use to manipulate you. You no longer play small to make them feel safe. You no longer tone it down just to be invited to tables you were sent to replace. That fog doesn't cover you anymore because you've become the sun. And when the sun rises, the fog runs. Your walk now? It's direct, unapologetic, rooted in knowing, not hoping. They feel it when you enter, the way they avoid your eyes, the way the room gets quiet. That's not awkwardness, that's exposure. That's the weight of truth standing in front of a world built on pretending. Number 9. Stop acting uncrowned. You were sent to rule, not to request entry. Chosen one, let's get this straight. You weren't sent here to beg for seats at tables built on ego. You weren't meant to ask for permission from people who are threatened by your existence. You've been walking around like you're waiting for a nod when the crown was already etched into your energy before you even arrived. Stop shrinking in spaces you were designed to dominate. Stop softening your voice to make cowards feel comfortable. You're not one of many. You are the blueprint. The reason you feel out of place isn't because something's wrong with you. It's because your presence disrupts the systems they built on lies. You weren't supposed to blend in. You were built to call it all out. And now that you're rising, now that your silence has turned into strategy, the very rooms that once ignored you are trying to mimic your glow. But don't get it twisted. You don't need validation from the very walls you came to shake. You were sent to reign. You were chosen to carry power that doesn't need a microphone to be felt. Real leaders don't knock. They walk in and shift the atmosphere. So stop acting like you're waiting for a green light. You are the signal. You are the access. And the crown, it's not handed to you. It's something your spirit already wears. So walk in it, live in it, rule in it. And if they can't handle your truth, that's not your burden to carry. That's your crown reminding them they never had the power to stop what was divinely assigned. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to reign. Number 10. Quit doubting the weight you carry. That burden is proof of your assignment. Chosen one, it's time to stop questioning what's been placed on your shoulders. That weight you feel, it's not punishment. It's evidence. Evidence that you were marked to carry what others couldn't even touch. While some break under the pressure of ordinary, you were built to hold the extraordinary. That heaviness in your chest, that constant pull towards something greater, it's not random. It's not in your head. It's your calling trying to wake you up. You've been carrying wounds that never got closure, dreams that felt too big to speak out loud, and visions that others laughed at. And yet, here you are, still standing, still rising, still pushing forward with a strength even you can't fully explain. That's not weakness, that's a sign. You've been trusted with sacred weight because your spirit was designed to rise under pressure. The people who mocked you couldn't survive 5 minutes in your shoes. The ones who dismissed your pain never saw the depth of what you were holding. But it was never for them to understand. You weren't chosen for their comfort. You were chosen for your calling. And that calling doesn't come light. It comes loud, it comes heavy, and it comes with purpose. So quit doubting it. That burden isn't a curse, it's your compass. Let it lead you, let it shape you, let it remind you every single day that you were not born to play small. You were born to carry fire. And the fact that it hasn't crushed you yet, that's the real miracle. Walk with it now, own it, because that weight you carry, it's the crown in disguise. Number 11. Don't waste energy on revenge. The rise they laughed at is what haunts them now. Chosen one, let this be the reminder you never forget. You never had to seek revenge. Your existence was the justice. Your rise was the consequence. They laughed, didn't they? Smirked behind your back, doubted your vision, twisted your strength into weakness. They thought your silence meant surrender. They thought your isolation meant failure. But what they couldn't see, what they never had the depth to understand, is that your silence was strategy. Your stillness was the storm-gathering force. And now, that same rise they mocked, it haunts them. It echoes in their mind when your name is mentioned. It shakes their confidence every time they scroll and see what you've become. They never expected to watch you shine from a distance they can't cross. But that's the thing about mocking chosen ones. It always ends in regret. You never needed to fight back. Your glow did it for you. So stop wasting time thinking about payback. That's too small for the kind of energy you carry now. You don't rise to prove a point. You rise because the assignment requires elevation, because the next level demands clarity, and because the very people who wanted you to stay broken now have to live in the shadow of your breakthrough. Let them sit with what they did. You move forward, untouchable. Number 12. Refuse to shrink for their comfort. The new earth only bows to the unbreakable. Chosen one, your power was never meant to make others feel safe. It was meant to shake the foundations of everything fake. So stop shrinking. Stop editing yourself to fit into spaces that were never built to hold your truth. Every time you lower your light to protect their pride, you rob yourself of the very elevation you were designed for. And for what? So people who fear their own reflection can feel taller beside you? Let's make this clear. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Their jealousy isn't your burden. The problem was never that you were too much. It's that you were too real. And the real has always been a threat to the ones performing. You didn't come this far to coddle egos built on lies. You were sent here to rise, to lead, to tear through illusion and carry the blueprint for something new. The ones who get it, they'll rise with you. The rest, let them stare from the sidelines. This new world you're stepping into, it doesn't answer to popularity. It doesn't fold under opinions. It bows only to the unbreakable, to the ones who didn't flinch when the storm hit, to the ones who kept rising even when every voice around them tried to reduce their worth. That's you. So don't you dare apologize for your fire. Don't you dare apologize for your presence. You didn't survive all this just to dim again. You're not here to fit in. You're here to lead out. The new earth isn't waiting for permission. It's waiting for you, fully lit, unapologetically powerful, unshrinkable. And as we come to the end of this message, let this truth echo in your spirit. Shrinking was never your purpose, rising is. The pressure you felt was proof of your power. The silence around you was space being cleared for your crown. You are not here to be understood by the masses. You're here to be remembered for your light. So stand tall, chosen one. If this word spoke to the fire inside you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop "I refuse to shrink" in the comments. Let your agreement be your declaration.